well, that was a very useful discussion that you gave us, and I'm not going to take a lot of time. I'm going to I prepared a short presentation, so I'm going to share that. Then I will start the discussion. So let's see. Can you see it? Okay, all right. So, well, and I'm Azad Hossain. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Biology, Geology, and Environmental Science at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. So I'm the advisor of our newly formed ASPRS student chapter. Well, it's summer. Students are scattered around, and we didn't plan, to do this presentation. Otherwise, the students, they would love to be here, and but I was able to meet them and to talk about. That's what Oscar, you wanted to know, our planned activities for coming fall. So that's why I talked to them and put together something as just to plan activities that we have. A little bit about the history of the chapter. So when I was a student, well, I've been working with geospatial data now, it's almost 25 years. So when I did my graduate studies in University of Mississippi, Oxford, Mississippi, I did my master's and PhD over there. So we have a very strong geospatial program over there, but we never had any ASPRS student chapter there. I felt the need. It was like every year's activities, and I had to attend the ASPRS conference. And so when now I'm a faculty here, so we kind of expanded our geospatial program here. We have a number of courses. We have GIS minor, and we have several concentration that focus on geospatial science. So the program has grown. So I felt that it was the right time to form this chapter, let the students get into the professional world, get in the networks. It would be in their benefit. So, and now one of the things that I realized the challenge is getting the student membership. So they know very little about ASPRS. They're mostly familiar with GIS. So I took the opportunity actually last year when we had the virtual conference. The virtual conference student grant. So we were able to actually almost 10 students and got involved with that conference since there is no travel needed. So we had I think almost 10 members during that time. So then we started communicating with our regions, the director, the president, Dr. David Hughes at ORNL, Oak Ridge National Lab. So we kind of collaborated and formed the chapter. Then we have to go to the universities, our own system. So finally, now this summer, we have the formal paperwork. So we have the chapter formed. So here we have the officers. Sean Jones, he is currently a master's student in civil engineering, and he's the president, and our vice president. We started with Braxton Angelin. He's a recent graduate from the geology undergraduate program. Since Braxton graduated, we needed to find another vice president. So Brianne Larson, and she stepped up to assume the position of the vice president, and she's an undergraduate student. She's senior in environmental science. And then Shelby Campbell is a master's student in environmental science, and she's our secretary and treasurer. Well, a little bit about how we celebrated. So we are all excited. These last year's pictures. So we had several meetings, and when we were in the process to form the chapter, these are all the ASPRS and the members. They, I think some of them are still active members, and very good time. So, and There you go. We're enjoying pizzas and having. We're actually looking at on the TV screen, and the last year's the GeoX call for abstract. So I think uh, it's the one. Well, the activities. So as now we have officially formed chapters. We have officers in place. We have number of members. So these are the activities that we plan for coming fall and of course next spring as well. So we're going to have our annual meeting in August. So we run with 9 months, like fall and spring. So we're going to have our annual meeting in fall. That's where we're going to see if we need to select new officers and of course discuss our activities. And then in terms of events, so we already talked about and plan to arrange an event called Chapter Showcase. So it's going to be open to all students. So one of the advantages that we have, so our new course that we have, the Intro GIS and Remote Sensing course, is pretty big class. So we are currently in the fall, the class is full. We have 56 students in that class. These are all fresh and interest in GIS remote sensing. And apart from all the students, there are those who took the class earlier. So I think we're going to target these students, and so I'm the one who teaches that class. So students is going to be part of this event. So we're going to we already talked about some of the cool applications that we did, some of them in our departmental open house. We're going to have a big TV screen, show some cool application using Google Earth Engine. So just to draw attention, and also talk about the ASPRS, the activities. So what is the ASPRS missions, visions, and what we can do, the regional structures, the networking, all those things. And then this is the picture of last year's during GIS Day. So we have several GIS labs. So we kind of tried to celebrate GIS Day. So this time we decided ASPRS student chapter will be formally part of that to and engage in the GIS Day celebration, because remote sensing GIS is interactive, and GIS is always a part of the remote sensing. This is my intro GIS class last fall. Well, and then one thing that we discussed to do is very useful and should be, and our class is big, so we discussed to arrange some sort of free tutoring. So we have several labs on campus. We're going to invite, this is voluntary, and undergraduates and graduate students who are good at like the software, ArcGIS Desktop, ArcGIS Pro, and ADAS Imagine, and a little bit of coding. So we talked about that. I think we just look for who can be available for certain time. Students can go and ask for the help, and it would be sponsored by the student chapter. So that's something that we are planning to do. And we're also discussing to develop a chapter website, and that's part of our UPC's departmental website that would be used to disseminate chapter activities to the students, and also the information those are associated with activities of the ASPRS, Student Council, ASPRS, like all conferences. These are very important. Let the students know beforehand so that they can attend, they can plan. And also like job opportunities, the posting about that, I think, and it's going to be, of course, associated with, we're also planning to form a GIS user group. So it's going to be associated with that, but a student chapter will be part of that. And we're also wanting to, this is our students' plan to hosting an event. And because we have number of alums, those who graduated, those are working in different local agencies, like we have private companies, the geospatial companies, and we have state and agency and county agencies. They all have GIS departments. So and then we have TBAs, we have Oak Ridge National Lab. We're kind of thinking to host a hybrid type of event. Again, the target would be those fresh lower level geospatial students, those are taking classes, they would know the opportunity that it is important for them to know why they want to be part of ASPRS, what they can benefit from there. That is very important. Job opportunity networking is always a very, very big deal. I have to put an example that one of my students and is currently working at Oak Ridge National Lab, and where David Hughes is the president of our region, the ASPRS Mid-South Divisions. And when I was in the process of forming these chapters, then I learned the need for a student intern at Oak Ridge National Lab, their remote sensing division. I did not have any idea about that. And then I tell that information to my student, hey, how about you try for the internship? And that interest for the internship turned into a full-scale, full-time job at Oak Ridge National Lab. So, and then our students participated. We recently had the Mid-South ASPRS conference hosted by Oak Ridge. Number of students from our region went there physically to present their some attendance on virtually as well. So I think this networking is extremely important. And we also discuss about something, this virtual conference opportunities. It is very, very useful. I cannot emphasize with words how important, how beneficial it is. Because like my student went to Denver and early this year to present at Honor Fidap, and we're small program here, and we're not an R1 institution. We don't have a lot of projects. But despite like to send Connor to ASPRS, Connor got student volunteer support, then Connor got graduate student support. We have to 4 or 5 different sources to cover up that trip for that. It's about $2,000. So I think that's put a barrier. That put a barrier to that, like, go to international or go to national level conferences, regional conferences. Virtual opportunities is extremely important. We're also wanting to host our own, so that students, like, we have a number of classes to do class project. They do fantastic work over there, and if we can prep them to present here, we have a local research showcase event there. So this is a small scale focused on GIS remote sensing, so that they are already prepared when there is an opportunity to present. And this also helps for GISP certification and other certification as well. The students came up with this idea. So how about we make this so that they can actually write something that ASPRS student chapter organized this event, and I present something that we have. Well, seems a little ambitious, but I'm okay with that. We may not be able to do all of this properly, but we'll do at least a lot of that. So I think I'm confident. So that's all I have to share with you all. But I really appreciate this opportunity to talk. And any students who are attending this right now, so and I would encourage all of them and because I know that you need an advisor to do that, and this advisor needs to be a ASPRS member. So I think, and there is someone, I think it would be extremely helpful to do that. If you have any questions, that I would love to answer. Thank you.
Dr. Hossain, thank you very much. That is terrific, terrific. The kind of work you put into it, and how motivated the chapter seems to be to recruit more, to expand, to reach out to different societies, different groups, connect, network. Incredible, incredible. It's a prime example of what the student chapters are there for. And I think you're really exploiting at least the concept of a student chapter. This chapter really embraces the concept of a student chapter, of its utility, of a community, of exactly what I was presenting. I wrote to weave students into the fabric of ASPRS, into their own fabric too, with their own community, university, right? Because some of them are just scattered and they don't know that they have this
that's right.
potential, these tools, tutorials, different groups. And once they talk to each other, they're like, oh, hey, you know, we all had this in common.
Yeah, I see. I attended some recent an SPS conferences, and when I was a student, and it was just like the most important part for me to go there. And I went there, and I can see the scale. I think the only thing is it will grow, and students' participation increases. I tell my students, hey, this is the largest professional group in the U.S. And of course, it's part of ASPRS in remote sensing. And so even though if you don't do anything, you like to put your name that you're part of that. That makes a lot. That makes a big deal. So, and I think I told you, it was a remarkable story that came up, and that Abby Faxon is my student, is working with Oakridge National Lab. And Abby got the job, and it is because of this student chapter initiative. I can tell you that upfront. So, and that's what I tell her. I never know that I didn't even know that Oakridge has a remote sensing division. They do all cutting edge research. So I think it is, and in the process, every single thing is important here. And now that the students ask me questions, so we have to be the member. Yes, we can talk about those things, how we can streamline, how it can be easy for the students. I think that's a different part, but I think, and it comes to, I think, and I would even talk to at the upper level to encourage the faculty level, because faculty has a role to play. So I think to motivate and draw students together. It was not easy for me to reach out to students during the summertime. Hey, you need to talk because it's a good opportunity to represent your school there. So I think, and it is not easy, but it is challenging anyway. So, and thank you.
Dr. Hossain, thank you very much on behalf of the society for the work you're doing. Really,
You're welcome.
it's outstanding.